Good morning, Bengaluru. Namaste. Uh, I think you all know that the planet is facing a triple environment crisis of pollution. Look to the enormous pollution in Delhi and other North Indian cities these days, of environment destruction, and on climate change. I will not speak about the problem because I think you are all aware of the challenge we are facing. I will speak on the solutions. And when we are looking for solutions to the climate crisis and environment crisis, I believe there's no better place to go for inspiration than to the old Indians. Look, the old Indians 2,000-3,000 years ago, they venerated nature. They put nature so center stage in their lives that they even made God half animal, half human. Ganesh, half elephant, half human. Hanuman, half monkey, half human. Can there be any stronger way of showing the importance, the imperative of nature? It was all over the mind for the old Indians. And let us take that perspective into the 21st century, that we can have huge economic development, we can modernize and use high tech, but we need to do it within the parameters set by nature. And no other person in India, frankly, has understood this as much as the Prime Minister himself. Look, Prime Minister Modi is launching green missions by the day. Green hydrogen mission for India, electric battery mission for India, electric vehicle mission for India, all with the aim of using the state as a driver for market change. State set the vision and the direction, and then you, the entrepreneurs, the market actors, will make the innovation and the scale which is needed. And we see that now in so many sectors, and let me give you a few examples of the role of entrepreneurship and the role of innovation, but within the parameters set by the government and the political leaders. First and most important, of course, is energy. And the beauty now is that the two main revolutions of our time, the information technology revolution, artificial intelligence, big data, all those aspects, and the sustainability, renewable revolution, they go hand in hand. India is now on the verge to become the second biggest solar power in the world. Whenever India makes the shift from coal to solar, not only it's good for people's health, everyone knows, not only it's good for Mother Earth, everyone knows, it's even good for jobs and prosperity, create more jobs, and it save money because solar is not cheaper than coal everywhere in the world. And indeed, solar power in India is the cheapest energy which has ever existed. A couple of months back, I went to Sanchi, a small city in the state of Madhya Pradesh, and to see the benefit for the people of this, solar power pumping the water for the farmers in an environment-friendly way so that they can get more yields. The city of Sanchi, a small town in Madhya Pradesh, powered by solar, and indeed street lighting made by solar, so that maybe particularly women felt much safer at night. And of course, we can make now completely high-tech systems of energy where you have solar when the sun is shining, wind when the wind is blowing, using hydropower pumped up as the battery for storage of the energy, and all of this combined by the latest high-tech solutions, which are integrated in a seamless way. Second is transport. India is now moving into the new green future. 10 years ago, there was only one metro line in India, that was in Delhi, and it was a very small metro system, nothing compared to, say, China or even Europe. Now 25 cities in India is making metros. Some of them too are not metros, they're not in tunnels, but they're elevated. And you see this happening all over India. And of course, it will revolutionize the transport system in the big cities of India and make these cities greener. And India will also soon really take off in the electric vehicle revolution. The headquarters of Ola is in Bengaluru, as I think you all know. Ola has established a beautiful factory just across the border from Karnataka into Tamil Nadu. 2,000 young Tamil women making electrical scooters, and the ambitions are enormous for these entrepreneurs. They have a slogan which I really love. They say, Tesla for the West, Ola for the rest. And that is very simple. In India, the market is so big, the demand for low price is so high. So if you can make something from the Indian market, it's highly likely to succeed in the global market. And that's the ambition of the entrepreneurs in Ola. Third is tree planting and taking better care of Mother Earth. That's simple technology. However, tree planting these days, yes, it can be done one by hand, but it can also be done by drones in a high-tech way, which will make it more efficient. And you see tree planting taking off. In the state of Telangana, your neighboring state from Karnataka, they have increased the tree cover with 7% in the last few decades, thanks to the Chief Minister KCR making this his ambition to really increase the tree cover. And Hyderabad now has 180 urban parks, some small, some big, and this of course is making Hyderabad as such a lively, great green city. And green cities are attractive. Bengaluru is also a green city, and these are some reasons why so many people are attracted to cities like Bengaluru and Hyderabad. In Madhya Pradesh, Chief Minister Chauhan, my friend, is planting one tree every day. Why is he doing that? Well, he's created a small little forest by himself in Bhopal, but it goes much more importantly, he's inspiring the 10 million people, the 80 million people in the great state of Madhya Pradesh to plant trees. That's the same population as Germany, so it really matters. So energy, transport, tree planting, and taking better care of the environment. And the fourth area is a recycling economy. We cannot continue to just throw away our phones or our computers when we need a new one. There is more gold in 1 kilo of electronic waste than there is in 1 kilo from a gold ore out in nature, say in South Africa. So throwing this away is complete waste. Let's recycle our phones. Let's start recycling our clothing. Look, 99% of all clothes in the world are just thrown away. And many companies are now experimenting with better systems for the recycling of clothing. And of course, plastics. We cannot just throw plastic into nature. We need to recycle it. Here also, an Indian city is really a front runner. That's Indore. As you know, Indore is one of the cities we kind of have a nickname. You very rarely see Indore mentioned without saying the cleanest city in India. It's absolutely clean there. It's unbelievable. There's not a paper in the streets. Why is that? Because they created great systems for recycling so that people can hand in the waste to the municipality, and the wet waste is used to power the biogas buses in the city of Indore. So the opportunities are enormous for India now to capture market, to see climate and environment as an opportunity. India has one large market. You can produce something in Tamil Nadu and you can sell it in Kashmir. It's one market. Well, that's a longer distance than from my city, Oslo, where I'm speaking from now, than to Africa. And 1.4 billion in this enormous market gives India an enormous advantage in the global competition. China is in the lead in basically every green technology now, but I'm sure India will be the second big green power. Finally, give a couple of examples of how high-tech can be used. I spoke about the integration of energy. That's a very, very clear example. But high-tech can also be used to protect nature in a more direct sense. In the Chinese island of Hainan, Huawei, which you know is a big company, they developed a system for voice recognition of the gibbons. Gibbons are monkeys living just in Hainan, nowhere else in the world. If the gibbon feels fear, it's scared, the voice recognition system will immediately alert the guardians, and the guardians will then take action to protect the gibbons. So high-tech is used in the to support the work of God or Mother Earth to protect nature. So India now is really moving from the back seat, which where it was in maybe a couple of decades ago, to the front seat of environment protection and on climate action. No one should blame India for the lack of climate action in the world. American emissions per capita up to today are 25 times Indians, so no one should blame India, but we should all see the enormous opportunity that from India now getting to the lead on climate action, and that will not just protect Mother Earth better, but will also create enormous opportunities for entrepreneurs, for making prosperity, for making jobs. Green is gold. Green is not going green is not a problem. It's a fantastic opportunity for a better economy. But thank you for coming together in Bengaluru and discuss these critical issues.
Thank you so much, Erik, for your insights. There's Narayanan here, and and in sharing your vision and in sharing what's happening in India today and the enormous opportunities that it presents, right? Perhaps just to start off a little bit of Q&A, perhaps just two short questions, and then we'll turn it over to the audience to keep, ask more questions to you directly. Perhaps the first one is, in your experience and based on your vast global experience as a, peace as well as a climate ambassador and diplomat, what do you see is our biggest risk in adaptation to a more sustainable future, right? And what do you think could perhaps be done better or more by industry and academia towards this overall adaptation to a better sustainable future?
Maybe the biggest risk is that we need a fair transition. Look, if I go to a coal miner in, say, the state of Jharkhand, and I tell that coal miner that, look, there are wonderful opportunities for India. India going green, we create any number of jobs. It will be fantastic for India. But by the way, most of the jobs will come in Bengaluru and Hyderabad. That coal miner in Jharkhand may not necessarily be enthusiastic. So making systems and programs to bring everyone on board, the farmer in Uttar Pradesh, the coal miner in Jharkhand, the nurse in Madhya Pradesh, not just the young and trendy in Chennai, Hyderabad, and Bengaluru. I think that is an enormous challenge for the environmentalist movement, and we will fail if we are not making this all-encompassing.
Right. Thank you, Erik. And it kind of leads into the second question around how can these sustainability solutions be made, whatever is available, be made more equitable and accessible, right? It's all good to talk about tech and so on, but what do you see happening globally, right? To make this more equitable and accessible, are there specific policies that you help work with various governments around the world in your leadership position? So what's your perspectives on that, and how does that get accomplished?
When the world is coming together in a month's time in Dubai for the climate convention, the big demand from developing countries will be that the rich countries should pay more, meaning that United States and Europe, these are the two entities which have basically caused the crisis, they should also pay for the repair. That's a very, very fair demand, and we should definitely try to achieve that. However, the two developing nations which are focusing on what they can do rather than what they can get from the outside are much more likely to succeed. China is now between 60 and 80% of all renewables, whether it's solar, wind, electric cars, high-speed rail, electric batteries. China is between 60 and 80% of the global market. India is with far high speed moving in the same direction. Why is that? Well, China and India are both markets of 1.4 billion people. There are no fees, no barriers for selling in these markets. So if they put environment and climate front and center and see the opportunities, they can make the products which will capture the future market. Don't focus on the problems of going green, but focus on the opportunities. And yes, I agree it's easier for China and India because the markets are so big. Africa has 54 small nations, many of them are small, so that's more difficult. But again, see this enormous opportunity, that's kind of the way to the future.
Thank you, Erik. I'd love to turn over any questions from the audience. If anyone would like to ask a question to Erik, please. I think the mics are available. So, any questions for Erik? All right. So thank you, Erik. I think that was a very enlightening session, and you know, it's in your role as a peace and green diplomat around the world. I mean, two things stand out, at least for me. One is the peace as well as the green, and I think it would be fair to say, from a sustainability standpoint, there is no sustainability without peace in the planet, and there is no peace also without sustainability unless everyone gets on board and we have more equitable access. You know, we'll probably still see a lot of conflicts for resources and so on and so forth. So both tie hand in hand, and it ties in beautifully with your global role as well. So thank you so much for you know, gracing us and finding time to spend time with us today, this morning in Bangalore. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And if you allow me a final comment, because peace is absolutely central for everything. If we cannot really make global peace, everything else is much more difficult. It causes a lot of loss of life, a lot of destruction of nature, and an enormous distraction from focusing on the main problem. So I will just encourage everyone to do whatever we can to show solidarity and create peace. Let's do whatever we can to create peace in the Ukrainian war, and of course between the Palestinians and Israelis, and in all other wars. And let's not jump to support just one side. Why can't we feel the pain for both Israeli and Palestinian mothers who see their children died? The deliberate killing of a child is wrong, pure and simple, whether it's done by one side or the other. And we should not just say, stand by Israel or stand by the Palestinians. It's stand by both Israel and show the human decency to oppose killing of civilians, whoever they are, wherever it happens. But thank you so much for this fantastic opportunity to speak to so many great entrepreneurs in Bengaluru, and I wish you all success, and don't hesitate to contact me if I can give any support to great green Indian business.
Thank you so much, Erik.